You guys ever see those YouTubers promoting power stations here? But then it's always a sponsored post and then you wonder whether they're any good or not and whether that's the best brand or another brand is better. Welcome to my not sponsored power station video. There are no links below to click on to buy or learn more. My name is Nate Petrosky. This is Narrowway Homestead. I live off the grid on 120 acres. And I like solar. Look at all those panels, beautiful. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, you already know I do sponsored solar videos and power bank videos. But today, in this not sponsored video, I am going to reveal all and talk about all kinds of brands. Because I'm still not done with the solar on this building, I have been using power stations daily for a long time. And there's nothing that makes me more irritated than seeing all these influencers selling these products or promoting them, and they misrepresent them simply because they don't know better, because they don't use them. And if you are going to promote power stations, I think you should be very familiar with them, and you're most likely going to end up having some that got a little bit scuffed. Right, Minion? What I'm going to do in this video is talk about these power station brands, and not just that, but I'm going to address some of the questions that just don't really fit into a sponsored post, live video. The number one question I probably get is, what happened to Jackery? And the reason you guys are asking that is because Jackery is the longest running sponsor here on the homestead. And for the longest time, most of the videos with power stations were just Jackery. That question is probably the easiest one to answer, is nothing happened to Jackery. I'm still with them. I still demo their power stations. And like every power station here, I actually use it. The second most common question I get right after I do a video, somebody wants to purchase one of the power stations at a reduced cost from me. They're like, I want your power station. Now that you're done with the video, will you sell it? And the answer is no, because I need to use it and continue to use it. After a year, once the model has been thoroughly used by me and I've got new models to test, I will part with it, but no, I won't just sell it online for some price. My neighbors all have power stations. A lot of my friends have power stations now. Like, it just kind of moves through the chain. I'm not interested in selling secondhand power stations. And the third question, and probably the most difficult one to answer, is, okay, you've experienced all these power stations, you've worked with them all, you use them. Which one is the best one? Meaning, if the viewers are as bored of this video as you are, I'm going to be in big trouble and like 6 people are going to watch this. You're such a goofball. Just to keep this video short and sweet, I have some Ecoflow products, I have some Jackery products, and I have Bluetti. I am familiar with some other brands as well, but I don't have current models from those companies, and on these companies I do. And you're going to hate my answer to the question on which one is best, because I'm going to answer it with this question. What is your budget? What do you need to run? And do you need it to be portable? I'm basically going to ask you a bunch of questions. Any power station that makes it into my videos is one that I would think is an okay purchase for the price point, and I think it functions how the brand says it does. If that is not the case, you just will not see it on my channel. And I'm not going to reach out and name specific companies to bash them. All right, let's do a comparison for fun. I'll choose 2 that are equally similar in specs. This is the just released Ecoflow Ultra Plus. This is by Blue Ecoflow, obviously, and this is Bluetti. This is our Apex 300. Immediately, we're a little bit shy of 3,000 watt hours. I believe this one is slightly over 3,000 watt hours. This one has no wheels and no handle. And this one got a handle that extends way out, and you can pick it up and roll it around on your garage floor. Now, the question for you is, do you need it to be portable or not? This is about $100 cheaper at the moment. You'll probably very much value the wheels and the handle on that if you're just going to keep it in, say, your garage and wheel it here and there on a daily basis. But maybe you plan to take it outside camping a whole lot, and you really value the fact that this has covers on top of the plugs, and this one is not. You don't care about the wheels, it's just going to collect dirt and stuff anyway, and let's be real, no power station I've ever checked out are you going to wheel on a dirt path through the woods. Like, it's just not going to work good. Now, I am going to say this power station is gorgeous and beautiful, and I really like the way they have it designed. This seems extremely basic, however, it's not ugly. But when you really actually do a deep dive into some of these systems and take a look at it, you'll find out you're not comparing apples to apples at all. And the very first example between these 2 units is right here, really tiny on the front. It's this little switch. That is the voltage selector. Now it will put out 240 volts on this side plug. Cool. On this one, no, it's only 120 volt out. Realistically, most of you guys are not going to be trying to run anything 240 volts off of a portable power station. But those of you that are, you're definitely going to gravitate towards that one. Those of you that don't even know what I'm talking about, maybe go for that one. At the end of the day, it kind of comes down to comparing Ford to Chevy to Dodge, all these different brands, and everything has pros and cons to it. Some things go on sale for an incredible rate at the moment you need them, and it'll push you from one brand to the other because, man, that sale is just too good to pass up, right? Some of you guys are diehard into just certain brands, and no matter what, that is the brand you want, unless for some reason what they're producing goes to complete garbage. There's a bunch of other stuff too. Like personally for me, when I carry heavy stuff, I like to be able to carry it with one hand, and while I kind of can with this, it's just kind of awkward and clumsy. I really do like this on the Jackery. One hand, but you can also carry with two hands. But then you quickly discover that that is rather uncomfortable to carry with two hands or two people. So if you're a homesteader like me, you might prefer the single handle design. But if you're a elderly person living alone, gonna use two hands every time you carry it, that might be the better one, just simply because of how you can carry it. The other question I get that kind of surprises me is almost a moral question. It's like, how can you sell all of them or promote all of them? I don't really sell them, I just market them for the company. But they want to know, how is it that I can market different brands? Well, first of all, no contracts I have signed have any kind of exclusivity in clause in the contract, so I'm not prohibited from working with others. One thing I do like is every single one, I believe, and I don't have every contract memorized, but every single one specifically states, do not disparage other brands in the video you're making for me, which is why you don't see comparison videos unless I do a completely non-sponsored one, such as this video, because they don't want to put two units side by side and have somebody trash one and say theirs is better. It's just not a good look for a company, and I appreciate that the companies don't want me to randomly trash other brands in the video for them. Now, there are some companies that have specifically wanted that, and anytime that happens, we never get past the contract stage because I won't sign it. So I've basically already answered this question by just saying that they're just kind of different brands and they all have their pros and cons depending what it is that you want to do, depending what happens to be on sale at the moment you need one. My goal in advertising pitch is very simple, and it's more an advertising philosophy than anything. I don't really do high pressure sales. I actually kind of like people trying to sell stuff to me in a high pressure way because I think it's fun, because that has no bearing on whether or not I want the product. I want the product or I don't, based on the product. And that's basically how I market these. Is my only job is not to sell you any one of these and get more buys and more clicks. My only job is simply to tell you what the product is, what it can do, highlight some features, use the product so that I know that the product I'm showing you guys actually does what I'm telling you it does. It's my job to highlight the best use case scenario. This one in particular, I would recommend, this is the Jackery 3600 Plus, I would recommend mostly for home backup, backing up certain things. Many other power stations do the same thing. However, say example, this one, much more portable, more likely to take on out to the field with you or out camping just for a day and be able to charge your phone, laptop, because you probably don't want to load this into your vehicle. But if your neighbor's power went out and yours didn't, maybe you do want to load this into your vehicle and take it over to them. It depends on what it is you need. So whenever I make a video dedicated to a specific product, I do try to highlight the features that I think are really cool. Look at that, you're not busting this door off. They all got apps. They all connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth anymore. Some of them, like this one, has two inverters built in, which is kind of cool because inverters, when they're on, take power regardless of if you're running anything or not. And so having two smaller inverters rather than one big one may save you runtime. Also, all of these in front of you do use the lithium iron phosphate battery technology. All the old power stations used to use lithium ion, and that battery technology is really not that safe. This e-bike, for example, happens to have the lithium ion battery in it. It actually has a label on the battery that says, do not charge inside. Now, I don't usually go too much in depth or talk about the battery technology, simply because most of the people that know all the ins and outs of all that and would be the ones who would care about that probably have already done their own research on power banks, and they're not the average consumer, which is the person I'm trying to reach. Some of those people could build their own power banks, and I've actually thought about building my own because I think it would be super fun. I have actually built one down at my pond. It's just in an old lawn cart with a lead acid battery and a panel to keep the water off the electronics. It's pretty crude and elementary, but that thing's cool. And the one final question I'll address on here is, it's too expensive, because it's more of almost a hater comment than anything. People are upset that they can't afford whatever the unit is I'm promoting. I do try to promote across a whole price range. The smaller you get, the cheaper they are, because, well, obviously, they're just not as capable. But the reality is, if you are barely making it by month to month, you can barely afford your mortgage or rent this month, your fridge is going out, you don't need to buy a battery backup for your fridge that's about to go out to save your fridge, which might just quit running and then you lose your food anyway. You should save your money and buy a new refrigerator when you can. Generally speaking, portable power stations are not for everybody. They're not for every budget. It's just up to me to demonstrate properly what it is they can do, and it's up to you to decide if the product is right for you, or it's not, or it'll never be right for you. No power station will be right for you, and that's all okay. That's for you to decide. You don't have to just click the buy button just because it happens to be on a website attached to a video. Other than that, I really can't think of a whole lot of other questions that people ask me. I think I covered it. Again, there's no links below to check out any of these prices. You'll have to Google it and find it the old-fashioned way if you want to know more about any of these. I will say most of the time when I do a sponsored post for a power station, they often run a sale simultaneously, and that's what they're trying to promote. Oftentimes that is the best deal on the item, but of course, do your own research, make sure. Most importantly, only buy one if you need one. If you're going to use it, there is no obligation to purchase anything on my end or use any of my links. However, if you want to, it's appreciated. If not, that's okay. Enjoy the videos anyway. Take it away, man.
With the beard and the vision, he narrates his life. Cutting firewood, draining beasts away from city strife. The ducks they roam freely, a quiet army true. Muscovies in the meadow, foraging in the dew. Lord Minion, small but grand, he's the kingdom's pride. Chasing out the odds with the